Hello and welcome back to Giggles and Glutes with myself, Zoe, and my lovely co-host, Donaé. And today we are going to talk about a topic that I think a lot of people fear and maybe think that it could be something daunting, and that is
A lot of us are thinking this, I'm sure, because at this point, from everything that we see on socials, if you do not have an online coaching business, if you did not launch an activewear brand, if you did not create an eating plan ebook, then what are you even doing in your life as a
yes,
coach? It's like we
yes.
completely forgot about in-person sessions and actually working in the gym.
Yes, 100%. The things that founded this whole thing, the
Exactly.
beginning of everything. And everyone is like, I must build my brand out and totally forgetting about the client side of things, like taking care of building that relationships and not just building relationships, like building sustainable relationships, because obviously when you go into this industry, you don't want to be churning out new clients all the time. So you want to be making meaningful relationships with your clients so that they also stay with you long term. So yeah, a
100%,
lot of things to cover.
100%. Yes, a lot to cover. So today we're going to basically, don't worry, Zoe and I are not going to be biased about this. We are going to dive into both why we think the fitness industry is oversaturated and why maybe it might not be oversaturated.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to start off strong with the one thing that I think a lot of us can relate to when it comes to social media specifically is all the information. There is so much information out there, right?
And not all correct.
This is the thing also, it's following unqualified advice actually in this industry. And I think it's
Yes.
also like you find this person online, they have an amazing body, they share their what I eat in a day, and you aspire to be like them, and so automatically you follow everything that they do,
Yes.
and you don't even know if they are qualified or why they are eating the way they are eating, but you're like, I have to, this is what I
Yes.
need to be doing,
Yes.
you know?
Yes. Or even from the other side, that person being unethical and then selling their eating plans or selling their training programs or whatever, and they're not qualified to be able to do that. Like Danae and I pay to belong to a body so that
Yes.
we are, because we are qualified, we will not in Germany. Actually in Germany I pay insurances to another company now, but in South Africa we belong to a governing body called REPSA, and they basically in charge of all the trainers and physios and bios and stuff in South Africa. And there's a reason for this. It's because ethics and standards are important when you are working with people, when you're working with other
100%.
people's emotions, other people's feelings, other people's personal information. The things your clients share with you is like insane sometimes.
Wild.
And the documents that they sign, all of that stuff, it's important. And when you just like taking fitness advice from someone online, you are openly saying like you don't care about all the other ethical things, because I don't know where you would find that information, because no one talks about that. The
Yeah.
fact that we learn about ethics in our course, the fact that we learn about
Yeah.
legal in our course, it's so much more to personal training than the exercises that you see, you
Yes.
know?
Yes, 100%. And just on that, like being registered to a body, I know in the UAE we use something called REPS UAE. If anybody out there is studying currently and they're not sure where to register, REPS UAE is a site that you can use in the GCC, well, in the United Arab Emirates, so that you can be governed by this body, basically. And they also allow you to do courses for your CPD points. You
Oh,
can renew your
cool.
CPR. You do this annually, so it's a once a year registration, which is pretty cool as well. And they offer so many courses that you can just continue to do, because the reality of the fitness industry is that it's constantly changing. But with that also comes all of these trends, which
Yeah.
now, by the way, I don't know if you've noticed this, the skinny girl is trending again. I
Mm.
can't, I can't even. You know what's actually very sad about this is that um, I I don't want to name and shame, but you guys know that I love this one brand. I absolutely love this brand. And I've seen it transition over the years. I discovered them when they were a mere year old, which was like back in 2022, 3. And I've seen it transition when now I go onto their website and it's just skinny girls. Like all their marketing is skinny girls, Pilates bodies.
Mm.
And it's kind of pissing
Mm.
me off, I'm not gonna lie,
Mm.
because the reason I fell in love with this brand was because they were promoting athletic build, which
Yeah.
for me is something that I always felt out of place about because of my build. And now I'm
Yeah.
like, now I don't even fit into this brand image anymore, and it's
Yeah.
just like all of these trends as well, where you go onto your social media, you're basically watching the same thing over and over and over again, just
Yes.
different people posting
Yes.
it. But it's the same thing over and over again, especially people who are athletes to brands, like all brands actually. They launch a product and then everybody's posting on
Yes.
this,
Same
you
day.
know,
Mm.
everything. It's
Oh,
like this.
actually, no. I got a brief once that told me I could only post on this day because this is the schedule for the other posts and stuff like. So now,
Interesting.
sometimes in the brief it would say you have to post at the specific time because they already scheduled other posts to go live at other times. So no, it's not that.
Yeah. That's quite interesting, actually. And I also think that just like speaking on this as well, it also creates this, and we spoke about this before, is the pressure to consistently be present on social media as a
Yeah.
trainer. You feel like if you didn't, I'm guilty of this, but also at the same time, it's not. But there's this pressure also that now as a coach, you need to show up a certain way. You
Yes.
know, you have to, otherwise you don't fit the criteria
Yes.
basically online.
I think it's also different now than when you were working in the gym. When you're working in the gym, it's easy to acquire clients. And now you're working outside or in a different environment where you constantly have to be the person generating new clients for yourself. And obviously, social media is the best way to do that. So there's
Yeah.
also the other part where it's kind of necessary to do.
I
Yeah.
agree. I actually saw a video of Kim Kardashian. She was saying that if you are in 2026 wanting to run a successful business and you don't have an online presence, it's not going to work, because that's
Yeah.
just the world that we live in at the moment.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
And also, like, everyone's always trying to sell you everything, you know? No one's just trying to give you some pure advice because they mean it. Like, I
No,
get
for
so
sure.
many people messaging me about fitness things, and I'm always replying, I don't care, you know?
Yeah.
There's no reason to gatekeep, because if they really wanted to, they could just type that same question into Google or into
Yeah.
ChatGPT now and get the
Yeah.
answer. So there's really
Yeah.
no reason to gatekeep. If people are going to come to you, they're going to come to you for your personality. They're going to come to you because they feel that they want to spend their money with you. But that is mostly after they felt like you've given them value already.
For sure. And then there's also the other side with online coaching, because both of us have experience in this, and I speak from experience when I say this, is that as a client approaching an online coach, the reality is that your coach is not with you. Your
Yeah.
coach is on the laptop, and it's maybe a check-in once a week, or he or she is on WhatsApp, and you are left to your own devices when you are doing this training program that they have provided you. And almost 80% of the time, the clients are not consistent enough. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, the trainer is held at that precedent that they did not do what they needed to do.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not going to train with her because I didn't see results. But
Yeah.
in the back end, your trainer sat and she created this program for you, did all your macros,
Yes.
everything, and you didn't follow it. It's, I also
Yes.
think that people, like clients, need to honestly start taking accountability for where they are lacking
Yes.
as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah. That's 100% true. Or like even remembering to come to the check-in. Sometimes you
Mm.
sometimes you'd be at the check-in and then you're like, hey, are you, oh, sorry, I'm stuck in a meeting or whatever. Like, because it's online mostly, or in our case, I'll talk about now, because it's online, you have to come to the check-in, or we have to, these things have to be important. The
Yes.
check-ins, following the plan, or at least when you're not following the plan, being honest about the fact that you're not following the plan and not lying, because like, we can always tell when you're lying. We
100%.
just, we spend so much time with you that when you're lying, we know. We're not going to call you out. Sometimes I do in a jokey way, but obviously we're not going to call you out. But like, be honest with us, because
Yeah.
that only helps us to better adjust the plan for you. But if you say, yes, I did this, or yes, had a good day of eating, but if you said that for the last 6 weeks, but nothing's changed, something is wrong somewhere. Because if you
Yes.
had
Yes.
6 weeks of good eating, something would have changed after 6 weeks. So there's all of
Yeah.
those things. And it's also, when you are choosing your coach, be honest with that person. Like, think of it as when you go to the doctor. You go to the doctor and you tell the doctor, hey doc, I'm here because I have this back pain. The back pain started a week ago. I don't know where it came from, or I picked up a chair. You know, and the more questions the doctor asks, it's to probe, it's to find out what is the origin of this thing and
Yeah.
how can we fix it. And that is the
Yeah.
exact same thing, or the process that we go through as personal trainers. We want to know like the deep-rooted problems.
Yes.
and,
Like a
and so that,
therapist. You don't go to therapy and go, okay, I booked this therapy session, and therapist goes, what's the problem, like, or whatever. And you just like, no, I'm fine. Then we have no
yeah.
problem to solve. Why are you
Yes,
here?
yes, exactly. No, that's that's actually perfect. And I've never met a trainer that has ever spoken to me about their client, like in a personal way.
Same.
Maybe they'd say stuff about, oh, this funny thing happened, my client told me, like that. But it would never be, my client is weighing so and so, or my client is doing this, she's insane, or whatever. I've never had a conversation like that with a trainer. So I can promise,
Same.
or at least a certified trainer. So I can promise you that we don't do that. So when
Yeah.
you get that opportunity to have that honest conversation, and your trainer's being real with you and giving you the opportunity to be real, then take it, because that's an opportunity for growth. That's an opportunity for us
100%.
to understand your psychology. Because when you are starting your fitness journey, there's going to come a point where the motivation's not going to be enough. And if you haven't by that point learned your psychology, or learned how you take in information, or we haven't learned how you take in information, we don't know how to explain stuff to you then either at that point. So then it becomes like, I'm saying to you, do a squat, but you hearing do a lunge type of thing. You know, they're not on the same wavelength. And then you can get to a point where you're going to feel like we're not connecting, and I'm going to feel like we're not connecting, and then you're going to feel like this is not working, and once again I need to give up.
Yeah. And then you go down the rabbit hole again, where you are relentlessly searching social media, trying to find answers, and then your algorithm in 2 days' time is just fitness, and you back at square one, where there's enormous amount of information, and it makes it feel overwhelming, which is
Yeah,
why the fitness industry can feel like it's oversaturated. But at the
yeah,
same time, also, as we say that this is what it seems like, there's also the other side to it, where maybe the market is not oversaturated. Maybe
yeah,
people do still need help from a good coach, that still
Yes.
stands out. And I think that is what it comes down to. Like Zoe mentioned, all these things that you need to look for in a coach, because your health and your wellness is an investment. It is the most important investment that you are going to make. Joining a gym is not a waste of money. Getting a trainer, buying an online program, getting a diet plan, it's not a
Yeah.
waste of money. But at the same time, this investment needs to have credibility. You need to make sure that where you are getting all of this information from, this source is credible. You can't just be like, okay, I saw this girl and now, I didn't do any research on her. I don't know her background. I know nothing about her, but she's gonna help me because she looks amazing. Because I can tell you now, just because your coach has an amazing body does not necessarily mean that they know what they are doing. So,
Lol. That's all I'm gonna
yeah.
say.
And there's also finding authenticity, like I think
Yeah.
it's so important to realize that if you have a coach and you find somebody that you can actually work with, it's also being mindful of the fact that you need to get along with this person. You
Yeah.
can't be with your coach and then talking about them behind their
Yeah.
back, but then you still continue to do the program, or
Yes.
you're
That's insane.
unhappy about all of the stuff that they are doing, but you're like, I'm going to show up anyway. It's going to make the journey terrible, the entire
Yes.
experience
Yes,
terrible. Yeah.
yes. And I was actually talking to Andy about like AI, because we were talking about AI and like which jobs do we think are going to be affected and stuff. And then I was like sitting there and saying, no, I think I'm safe actually. I think I'm safe.
I also think so.
I was like, people want to train with humans. People, like, you're not going to get motivation from an AI saying, well done, Donaé, good job.
Yeah.
5 more
Yeah.
reps. That's just
Yeah.
not going to
Or
motivate you to do your workout, you
at
know?
all. And even this morning, actually, I saw one of my online clients, and my
Okay.
one client was saying to me that his daughter is like following these YouTube videos, but he's not a fan of it because there's no human interaction. And I think a lot of people are becoming so aware because AI is
Yeah.
blowing up so much that
Yes.
people are seeking human
Yes.
interaction and communication, and they
Yes.
want this, and that's what he's wanting for her. And I
Yeah.
think that that's also why I think our jobs are safe, because people are going to want somebody to actually talk to, a
Yes.
human and
Yes.
not a bot,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially in this AI, the silent AI rebellion that's going on at the moment.
What's happening?
Like, so many people are like, no, delete it. Like,
Yes,
don't pay for
yes.
it, cancel it, stop it. And like, there was this article in I think it was the New York Times or the Washington Post. I can't remember. Don't quote me on it. But it was in some major newspaper in the US. And they were basically talking about how Gen Z are actively sabotaging the AI models that the companies are working with.
Wow.
So
Wow.
they are from the inside destroying the AI. And remember, I said to you, ChatGPT is getting dumber and dumber.
Yes.
Like, and I see it like in the guys. I'm not fluent German, and if I send him a text to be like translate, and I correct him in the translation, that's a problem.
That is a
Like,
huge problem.
you
Huge
you get what
problem.
I mean? And then it's like, oops,
Yeah.
sorry, my mistake. You caught that. Wow.
What do you mean? I caught that well. I actually asked GPT a question just to check, and I said to him, I was like, I want to take my car for a wash, and it's like 10 minutes from where I live, and the sun is out. What should I do? Should I drive or should I walk? And he told me I should walk. And I was like, I'm going to go wash my car. How can I walk to go and wash my car? I need to
Yes.
drive because my car must go with me. And I was like, no.
Do you
I
see
was so
why? And
disappointed.
sometimes, hey guys, I would be typing down a message and it would be in all caps. And then she'd be like, why are you screaming at me? I'm like, I was talking to ChatGPT before this. You
She always
can't.
says that. She was having a fight with GPT. It's so funny. Oh my gosh. So this is also the thing, like if AI is losing its credibility, and honestly, this is not a person that you want to design your training program, or somebody
Yes.
that you want to coach you, a bot, you know. So
Yes.
I think that in that sense, also, the market is not oversaturated because people are looking for good coaches and looking for that
Yes.
human connection and motivation and accountability from an actual
Yes.
person. Because at the
Yes.
end of the day, in the fitness industry, community matters more than
Mm-hmm.
anything. Like all the successful online coaches that are amazing at what they do and have grown their businesses exponentially, they have also created an amazing community that stands behind them. And I think that that is something that's so beautiful and something
Yeah.
that's so amazing, especially through movement. Bringing people together through movement is
Yes.
something so beautiful. It will
And
always be.
rewarding. It's so
Yes.
rewarding. Like as a trainer, to see your client move and progress.
Mm,
And just
mm.
this morning, my client was doing tricep dips, and a year ago, she couldn't do tricep dips. Her wrist would just hurt way too much. She was doing tricep dips. She says, "I'm so
Amazing.
sorry." I was like, "Yes." She was like, "They still hurt a
Yes.
little bit, though." But it was
Progress
that
is
was
progress.
yeah, so
Mm. And it's amazing to have somebody real who can celebrate that with you as well. So
yes,
basically, to conclude this episode, the fitness industry, there are two sides to whether how we ask this question: is the fitness industry oversaturated? There are two sides, yes and no. At the end of the day, you just need to find what works for you, and most importantly, find a coach that is authentic and somebody that is qualified to
yeah,
help you, and not just
yeah.
following random trends online. Because when you follow random trends online, you will always feel like you don't fit the mold.
hmm And if you are coming into this from like wanting to join the fitness industry, and you're asking yourself, is this an industry I want to go into? Is it too saturated? Yes or no? Then you should ask yourself what's really important to you as a trainer,
Mm.
because Donaé and I love inspiring women and some men to to, um, to move their bodies. That's like our
Yeah,
thing. We love that. Even if we're dying,
yeah.
like Donaé was in a functional class while we are doing this, at the end of it, we always have such good stories of when we are doing fitness, when we go to fitness events and stuff like that, even though we know
Mm.
it's going to be painful afterwards. So find your why, and if fitness is really your thing, if that's what gets your heart burning, then you should, of
Yeah,
course, still say, regardless of whether it's saturated, this is what I want, this is what I'm going to do, and I'm going to be the best person. I'm going to be better than Zoe, I'm going to be better than Donaé in the industry. So it's not going to
mm.
matter that it's saturated, because all the people are going to want to come to me either way. That's the mindset you are going to have, and you are going to have to like
Yeah,
work towards that as well.
yeah,
Otherwise, yes,
yeah,
because we also know a lot of trainers that do get lost in this industry. They don't
yeah.
make it, especially in the gyms that we worked at in South Africa, where the rent is like insane. Insane amount of money that we were paying Virgin Active a month. But a lot of people
Mm.
can't sustain that over a long time. So there's
Yeah,
also the real situation of no, it's not sustainable, or no,
yeah,
it's not going to work because it is too saturated. So these are all research, proper research you must do before you make
yeah.
any actually career move. So yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And also, I think if you are a new coach listening to this episode today, remember that it is so important to have experience. Take the time to work in the gym. Take the time to understand that people's brains work differently, people's bodies move differently. Go to the gym and get that in person experience before you move to a business that is online. Because honestly, you learn so much, not only
Yeah,
about the industry, but also about yourself as a coach.
yeah,
And I think it's so important to have that in the bag so that you can allow yourself to grow and then expand to move
yeah,
online as well. So
yeah.
yeah. That's it from us today. Thank you so much for joining this episode. We really hope that you enjoyed that. Zoe and I will catch you next time. And also, don't forget to like and subscribe this video. If you enjoyed this episode, Zoe and I will catch you in the next one. Bye.
Bye.